Welcome back to the National Home Service Contract Association. We understand that when you're buying a home, there are so many things to consider, and contracts to read that selecting and understanding a home service contract is just one more thing to wrap your brain around. That's why we always suggest that you seek guidance from a real estate agent. So today, we have brought in one of the experts, a real estate agent, Tara Jensen with New World Realty. So Tara, you work with home buyers and sellers every day.
Yep.
What do you tell them about home service contracts?
I tell them they're very important to have. It can save you a lot of money, especially if it's the first house you've bought or if you've put a big down payment down. That first year, it can save you a ton of money on repairs that you might come across in certain items in your house.
So somebody's saved up their money and they finally get their new house.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right. The last thing that they're going to want to do a month into being in their beautiful new home is discover that they go to flip on the AC and nothing comes
work.
and it doesn't work, right? So as a real estate agent, you see this in action. Do you get good feedback from people saying, "Oh my gosh, thank you, Tara. Thank you for
Actually, yes.
suggesting this to me"?
Yes, actually we do. We get great feedback. A lot of my clients, too, have been known to extend their warranty year after year, which is an option that you have.
That's
So
right, and that's a really
love it.
important one that we need to mention, is
is.
that they're renewable every year.
They are.
So it's not just the first year that you buy a home service contract. Every year on your anniversary date, you can renew and continue your coverage, right?
Correct.
Okay. Well, you know, before we met today, I went out on the internet and I did a little surfing, and I found some things that I kind of would consider to be myths
Okay.
that I was surprised about that are floating out there in cyberspace about home service contracts. And since you're the expert, I want to pitch them to you, and you tell me if they're true or they're false, because I'm finding them confusing myself. So the first one that I found is that real estate agents get paid a commission when they get a buyer or a seller to purchase a home service contract. Is that true or false?
It's absolutely false. It is a violation of the real estate law for us to be able to receive a commission for those.
Well, I saw that online too, so I did some research, and I'm glad that I was correct. And if you want to do research to make sure that what we're telling you is correct, all you need to do is go to the Real Estate, Settlement Procedure Act, right?
Yes.
And in Section 8, it specifically says that it prohibits anyone from giving or accepting a fee, kickback, or anything of value in exchange for referrals or settlement of business services.
Correct.
So, in summary, you don't make money when you suggest that a home buyer purchase a home service contract.
I do not.
No.
Nope.
As a real estate agent, though, what does it do for you and your reputation, maybe with your clients, or what's the benefit to you as a real estate agent when you have a client that makes one of these purchases?
Buying a house is, first of all, the biggest purchase you're going to make. So if something breaks that first year and you're out a lot of money, you're frustrated, and you're frustrated at everybody involved in the transaction, including your realtor. So by having the warranty, that gives them a little peace of mind at a reduced expense.
Right. You don't want that phone call that says, "Tara, that house you sold me 6 months ago, you're never going to believe what broke," right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, that makes sense. I can understand. You want happy customers, right?
That's
We do.
all we want.
Okay, so here's another little factoid I found out, and it says warranties don't cover the most expensive repairs that you might face. So is that true or false? Because
that's false also.
okay. So tell me why.
Well, because some of your expensive repairs can be involved with your HVAC system,
Right.
certain plumbing items, things like that, and there are inclusions and inclusions on every item of what's covered.
So do home service contracts generally have a list of items that they generally, because every contract's different, as we all know,
Right.
whether it's a home service contract or any other contract, generally cover the major appliances in the home, right? Like, so your refrigerators, your HVAC systems, things like that.
Yes.
But you can ask for additional things to be added to that?
You can.
Like
Swimming pools, water softeners, different things like that. Some of them have separate sump pump coverage.
Got it.
So yes, you can add things on for additional fees.
So as an agent, do you make sure that you go through with your clients so that they, because to me it seems like anytime someone is not maybe sure what to do or what's covered or what's not, maybe it's because they didn't go through and read their contract clearly.
Right.
So do you sit down with your
I
clients?
absolutely sit down with them because that first year we're typically getting a seller to pay for that home warranty.
Oh, okay.
So why not make sure it covers all the components
So
that are with the house?
that's a good point too. So it doesn't have to be a seller. It could be the seller could purchase the home service contract on their home to maybe entice buyers.
But they typically pay for it for the buyer anyway.
Right. Or you can purchase it
You
yourself.
can purchase it yourself, yes.
Oh, and that's important too, I guess, because even if you're not buying a home, I could go out today
Yes,
after
you can.
owning my home for 15 years and purchase a home service
Yes.
contract. Okay. I'm glad I asked that question.
Yes.
Okay, so we've covered that you don't get commissions and that they do seem to cover the expensive items in your house. And I think in an earlier conversation, we mentioned that buyers need to be sure that they understand that a home service contract can't, by law, cover anything that insurance would cover. So that would be, what would be an example? Like normally insurance covers your roof, bigger items, bigger high ticket items like that as well.
Correct. If you had, you could have a plumbing component that is covered, but the damage from that plumbing component may not be covered by the warranty, but your insurance company would take care of certain things in that case.
That's right. So like if you have a leak, say, in your dishwasher, and it leaks, and your home service provider comes out, they fix it, they fix the problem, but water has now leaked into your basement and caused damage.
Correct.
That damage is going to be covered by your insurance, not your home service contract.
Right.
It does get a little confusing.
It does.
It really does.
The
And
contracts are very clear.
but the contracts are clear. But it just matters that you need to read them and understand them and sit down with somebody like you to help go through and make sure that you understand it. Okay. Is there anything else that you find that advice that you would give to a home buyer? Because there's lots of, like we said, there's lots of paperwork to do when you buy a house. And certainly a home service contract is an important piece of paper. Is there any extra advice that you give to them if they're on the fence of purchasing a contract or not?
Well, typically, in over 90% of our deals, the seller is actually paying for it for the buyer. So, there's really no reason for a buyer not to try to get one for that first year at somebody else's expense.
Right.
So,
And the seller's doing that to give them peace of mind again and make for a good
because
transaction.
as we know, some components start breaking down as soon as 10 years.
Right.
And very few people are buying under 10-year-old houses.
Right.
So everybody's
And-
buying a house that's probably got something close to its lifespan.
Right. And we aren't all DIYers and we don't
Correct.
all know how to fix things, nor would we want to.
Correct.
Well, thank you, Tara. I really appreciate it.
you.
For more information on other myths and facts on the home service contract industry, make sure to visit us at homeservicecontract.org or follow us on Twitter at Cover Your Home.